What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom, coming to you on that glorious and well-deserved day off. How's it going? But today we're going to take a look at something that's actually been asked of me by a ton of you guys. And that is, where the hell do I go from here? What do I do? We are inundated. In the gun world, it is terrible, man. There's always a new holster or a different color of a holster or new parts or a new optic or a better light or a new light or a new trigger or whatever, right? There's just a freaking million variants of this. Rifles are even worse. And what happens is we end up with, because we like guns, we end up with 5, 6, 7 handguns. Case in YouTube algorithm, all my weapons are clear. I am sitting in a safe area of my house where I do firearms maintenance and dry fire. That's not for you, that's for them. Also, internet safety trolls. Hey, guess what? They're clear. And that also means there's nobody behind my camera. So if I do this, you're totally safe. Last time I checked, bullets can't enter the internet and get to you. So what we end up doing is we have 8, 9 handguns, right? Because we got to have the new thing, right? The Glock 40, got a Glock 45. Oh crap, the 47's cool, so you buy the 47. Oh, but look at this 49, so you buy the 49. And now you've got 3 Glocks that do almost the same job. And none of them are built the way you want them built. All of us do this, man. We are all freaking guilty of the new widget, buy the new thing. We all do it, and we all just crash into this trap, man. I mean, legit, this was a conversation I had with a guy. I'm going to give you these numbers. I will not call him out because I helped educate him, and he is much better off now. 3 or 4 rifles, 8 handguns, 3 plate carriers, 1 set of decent plates, 2 chest rigs, 3 sets of cheap plates, a bug out bag, and a get home bag, neither of which are fully kitted out. He doesn't have any food preps, no water preps, and he only had about 1,000 rounds of ammunition and 300 rounds of defensive ammo. He also had a grand total of 7 magazines, and he had 9 mags for rifles. He fell into this trap hard. And he reached out to me, and I helped him. And I talked to him. I was like, dude, here's the deal, right? Shiny new, we are like, ooh, fishing lure, right? We are all bass on a spring day with something shiny. It is just fact of life. That's how gun people are. I wouldn't trade it for the world because we're interesting, right? Gun people are interesting. And the fact that we can see people's personalities in their firearm is interesting as well. I can tell. By the way, we are going to do a rate my rig. That will be coming up. I will put that out everywhere because I expect a good turnout from you guys. I want to see some awesome rifles. I also want to see the cringiest damn thing you own. And I will be ruthless. So anyway, moving on. I was excited about that. But this is what we do. And here's the other part of this is very real. This is freaking expensive, man. Like, I break this down in this video over here. I break down what I did to this. My Glock 45. This is my duty gun, right? From the magwell to the internals I changed to the Radian ramjet. I ask myself questions though when I'm working on these guns. And I do this with anything. So it's like, I'm going to buy all these other guns, right? Because this new Glock came out, and this new Glock is an improved version of the old Glock that, well, it's not. Okay, it's a Glock. But I ask myself these 4 questions. Well, first one is it necessary, right? Is it necessary? Do I need the Glock 49? I know I want it, but do I need it? Is it necessary for me to do what I do? The second one is, will it make me better? Will it? Am I going to get that and it's going to make me a better shooter because I have that Glock 49? The next one is, will it enhance my life or my capabilities? So does it make me a happier human, right? This camera I'm talking to you on is an excellent example, right? We have this problem as gun people, and especially since the flex culture has taken off. No disrespect to those guys. I'm in all of the mid-tier groups. That some of them are very fun to watch. Some of them are very cringy, but hey, good with the bad. We have a bad habit, especially in this world, because you're a guy, right? You're supposed to, or if you're a girl, whatever, you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know this stuff, man. And we've gotten to the point where we will double down on our bad decisions and defend them because we're embarrassed. Right? That's reality. That's true life. We're embarrassed, and then we will make excuses for why we did what we did. And we need to normalize the fact that it is 100% okay. It is 100% okay for you to not know something or not understand it, and then reach out to people that do. That is 100% okay and acceptable, and we need to normalize that again in this society because we've gotten stupid. This camera I'm talking to you guys on, great example. I know absolutely squat about videography. Nothing. If you couldn't tell from like the terrible lighting and the kind of the backgrounds, and I don't know anything about this, but I'm learning, and I'm okay with the fact that I don't know. And when I went shopping for a new camera, I almost bought 3 different cameras, none of which would have filled the role for what I needed to do. And I reached out to people that knew more than me. Some very nice people on YouTube helped me out. They answered my questions. I was like a, moderately stupid teenager. Well, why? Well, why? But they helped me. They just listened and helped me. I also have family that's very into photography and videography, so I reached out to them as well. And I bought a camera that was far more expensive than what I had initially planned on doing because we buy things that are cheap because they're shiny. And I almost bought it with all this crap I didn't need when I really only needed like 3 lenses. And I would be better off just having a better camera. But this thing had to meet those 4 questions, right? Was it necessary? Yes, because you good people are watching me on TVs and computer screens that are larger than the screen of your phone, and I look like a furry Teletubby on a TV because it's the camera quality, right? So now I'm learning about that. I'm trying to make this better for you guys, bring you better quality content because you guys, whether you know it or not, every time you like, subscribe, tell a friend, or share, it supports the channel. Use those links, it does as well. And when Patreon launches, for those of you that want to be a part of that, it's all appreciated because it helps me bring you better content and more of it. No, I'm not going to quit my full-time job as a law enforcement officer. Just do YouTube. That kind of money doesn't exist in my world. But if I don't have to come out of pocket all the time to make stuff to get my message across, that's great. So was it necessary? Absolutely. Will it make me better? I hope that it does make me make better content because I'm much more accountable and I can bring you better footage from the range and stuff like that. Will it enhance my life or my capabilities? 100%. Because in addition to shooting really good videos for you guys, it also takes exceptionally good photographs with good lenses. And I have 2 beautiful little girls and a moderately stupid dog. So, yeah, right. Yeah, it enhances me. And will it make me money? Yeah, short note for me, YouTube. Yeah, this will make money for me. And if I hated it for whatever reason, I could sell it because I bought a good enough one I could get my money out of it. But I was not afraid to ask people because I normalized that in my own life. If you don't know or you don't understand, don't be afraid to ask. We're a very good community for the most part. So that's how we get here. And what we end up doing is we buy really crappy parts because they look cool, but we didn't know. So you have 9 guns, none of which that do anything special for you. None of them are built the way you want them actually built, which is another problem. And if they are built the way you want them built, you have some subpar parts in there because they were cheaper and easier to find, as opposed to just saving for an additional month and actually buying what you wanted, because we've all done that too. See my video on how to get gear you want. It's worth it. But then the question I would ask you, just looking at your kit you have now, is how many compromises have you made in kit, guns, parts, ammo selection? How many compromises have you made where you could have actually had exactly what you wanted had you just waited like an extra month, right? It took me 3 months to decide on this camera. I knew it needed to happen, but I also knew it didn't need to happen right then, and that I would be far happier if I took my time and researched this to a level of tism that is just insane, right? I'm a polymath. I research stuff. I like to know things. So we do that in the gun world, like all the freaking time. So what I would tell him, what I told this gentleman, I'm like, okay, you have 8 handguns. How many of your handguns would you consider go to hell ready, right? Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with having more than one of those. Personally, for me, this gun is the one I carry on duty every day. This is also the gun I train with, teach with, and carry off duty as a concealed firearm. Yes, I do that because I buy good holsters. But if it's super hot and I'm wearing shorts, I will typically carry my Glock 48 with the Vortex Defender because it's a little slimmer, it's lighter, it's more lightweight, it's easier for me to carry. I'm actually testing out a new holster from Alien Gear, this guy right here. So this is the Photon for that. I know somebody's gonna be like, it's an Alien Gear, right? I've been running these guys, the Rapid Force Duty holsters. You guys, wait till you see this video. This thing spanks a lot of things that you don't think it'll spank. I'm gonna tell you that. So for me, right, I was like, have your go to hell firearm, right? Here's the thing: if you are one of those people that carries a smaller, slimmer firearm because this is convenient for you on a day-to-day basis, thank God, I'm glad you're armed. Okay. However, we would all agree that this is not a go to war kind of handgun. There are better options. Does it need to be a staccato? No, right? Get a good full size ish firearm as your duty firearm and then run the crap out of it, right? Just run it, learn on it, be good with it. You will come out better on the other end. So if you have those two guns, and when I say setup, I don't mean you have the gun and you have like one of the parts, right? Before you go buying an additional 5 Glocks because you're in love with Glock, I would ponder to you that your money would probably be better spent, at least for 2 of those Glocks. So that $1,000 on buying a high quality red dot, really, really good backup sights, an excellent weapon light, maybe an extended slide stop. Maybe you want a different trigger. I love this magwell. I would recommend this magwell to you. This is the SLR Rifleworks magwell. That may be a better use of your money because you're going to outfit this to the point where it's exactly what you want. Then that's the goal. The goal is nobody cares that you have 9 Glocks and none of them work. I am much more impressed with you if you have one that is just like, I can tell that's your piece, right? So we do that. Well, the next one, when we look at it, is 3 to 4 rifles. Okay, I'm never going to tell you you don't need a bunch of rifles. I have a bunch of rifles. But what we do as gun people is this. We have a lot of these. This is an Anderson Poverty Pony Lower that's in spec with a 2-stage Schmid trigger and a Palmetto State Armory lower parts kit, a PSA upper with the M-LOK kind of triangle hand. I love this. Was kind of my nostalgic thing. This is actually getting an Aimpoint Pro because I nostalgic. And it's got a weapon mounted light with no pressure pad, no nothing. This is just a G2 law enforcement 600 lumen light, right? We own a lot of these because in our mind it makes sense. But if you own a bunch of this is not a properly set up firearm. Maybe it is for you because you don't do a ton of stuff, but it's not for me, right? So my question to him was, I'm like, do you have a rifle that if tomorrow the balloon went up, that you would trust to do everything on the planet to save you and your family for as long as it took? His answer was no. If that's your answer to that question, you don't need 8 rifles. I would ponder that you could probably sell 3, 4 of them and outfit one to your specs. So let's take a look at one of mine. This is actually not the duty rifle video that you guys are asking for because that thing is sexy. And I literally spec'd every part down to the detents and springs on that gun. I'm excited about it. If you can't tell, you guys are going to love it. I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's expensive. So don't come telling me at me, bro, about how I could do this. So this is one of my rifles that I would consider a go to hell rifle for me. This firearm that we have here, let's go ahead and show clear if we will. This firearm is an Aero Precision M4E1 enhanced lower, bought pre-2020. This is a LaRue match grade upper with a 16-inch heavy contoured barrel, mid-length gas system, LaRue's bolt carrier group. And I have Geisley lower parts on here. I have a Geisley Maritime bolt catch, which I'm not really a fan of anymore. I have a BCM end plate with a QD slot. I have a CMC buffer extension here, B5 system mod stock, B5 Type 23 grip, Radian slimline charging handle, BCM foregrip, Streamlight HLX Pro, and then a Purst 4 laser aiming module. I really like this gun. This gun will shoot 3/4 inch groups, 1/2 inch groups with good ammo. Oh, and then this is actually a SIG Romeo 7. So this is the Comp M5 clone that SIG did. This is on a Warren Precision 193 mount. This has clear caps on it. This is the green dot version. I really like this dot. This thing is awesome, right? Oh, and then this guy's got a LaRue MBT2S trigger in it as well, and then a Griffin Armament 55-degree safety. And then T-Rex arms for the sling, BCM QDs on here. This thing is cool. This is an exceptionally good firearm. That I would trust to go to hell with. I would, if it balloon went up tomorrow and I didn't have my other one built out all the way yet to show you guys, I wouldn't care because I trust that thing right there. That thing is bulletproof. Even that optic. Is it an aim point? No. Do I want an aim point? Yes. And then the mag that sits in it is this guy. So this magazine is a 20-round P mag with a Warren +5 base plate. So this is a 25-round mag, which is great for running in a truck. And again, I have good ammo because I'm a advocate for that. So what I suggested he did, I was like, do you have a good white light? No. Okay, you need a good white light. Do you have a good optic? No, you need a good optic. You know, do you have the charging handle you want? How about the trigger that you want? Do you have a laser aiming module? That's your end goal. Do you have the muzzle device? What about your can? Oh, in case you're wondering, that muzzle device actually is set up to take the M4 SD Griffin can. So, do you have that stuff? If the answer is no, why do you have 4 other rifles? Just because you have more rifles, if none of them are set up to the capability you want because you got distracted by shiny stuff, build out the one good rifle. And then I don't care, have a dozen of the whatever rifles you want. I don't care. But have one that you trust your life with. Have that handgun that you trust your life with. If you're one of the people that needs a concealed gun, have that concealed gun you can bet your life on. Have that done. Same thing, we look at plate carriers, plates. I will tell you right now, there's almost no reason to buy a plate that is cheaper than like HiCom. HiCom is an exceptionally good NIJ certified level 4 plate. They are a little heavy. Buy a really, really good set of plates and then buy a plate carrier that fits your needs. If you're curious about what you need for your needs, take a look at this loadout video where I talk and discuss all of the virtues of mag loadouts from 3 all the way up to like 16. And then somewhere over here in just a second, I'll pop up one to my new plate carrier. Having a plate carrier built out to fit exactly what you want it to do with the flexibility to give you options to do more or less depending on how it worked, that's important, right? With really good armor, that's important. That's how we become better. And like I said, we do this to ourselves. And we do it because there's just way too much cool stuff in our realm. Let's be realistic about this. But that's where you go from here. Where do you go from here? Pick your rifle, spec out that rifle. Don't be afraid to ask people questions and build that thing out exactly how you want it to be. Your handgun, pick your handgun. Build this guy out exactly how you want it to be and then run the crap out of it. If you're law enforcement or a really defensive-minded thing. So this is great. But I've covered this a few different times, which is if I get into a shooting with this, I will lose this for 6 months. So there's a second one. This is also a Glock 45. I'm going to get another SLR magwell. I'm getting the same sights that are on that, and this one's actually going to get a tan acro that should be here this week to go along with the X300 in tan. And this will have an Overwatch precision trigger in it, agency mag release. It will almost be the same except for the Radian comp. But that gives me a second option. For me, that's necessary. Maybe it's not for you, but it is for me. There is a lot of truth when we start dealing with this part of the world that buy once, cry once is an absolute real thing. Just think of how much kit and parts and holsters and like molly gear and different colors of stuff that you have because when you bought it, it was just as good and you made excuses because you didn't know any better and you were too ashamed to ask or embarrassed to ask. Because you were just impatient and wanted it now, versus having to wait 2 more weeks, or you did it on an impulse because like, oh crap, it's on sale, right? How much stuff do you have because of that? Just think about how much more good you could have done had you just not done that right then, right? And then the problem is we don't learn from it. We do it again like the next month and the next month and the next month and the next month. We can do better. So where do you go from here? If you're not set up with a gun that you could bet your life on today, this is first. Spare no expense. Take as much time as you need, but build this out perfectly to your spec. And then next, it's your rifle. Take your time, catch sales, build it out, make it perfect for you, because I don't got to use it, that you would bet your life on. Personally, for me, I like armor. But if I was starting over, I'm buying a chest rig. I'm buying a good chest rig, a Mayflower or something like that. Not a micro, a good one. And then I'm going to buy a plate carrier. I'm going to buy really good plates. I'm not going to buy cheap stuff. I'm going to buy good plates. And I'm going to set that up for me for what I want to do at my level. That's how you do this. Don't be afraid to ask. Normalize that again, man. We've lost that. And it makes me sad because there's so many people that have already made all of the mistakes that you're about to make. All you got to do is ask. Because I don't know any gun dude that's not like, man, let me tell you about how I polished this trigger bar. We are just absolutely detail oriented. But we won't ask questions. So that's that. So guys, hopefully you found this informative. It helped you decide where to go from here. Because sometimes we just need to have that conversation. Like I said, normalize understanding and being okay with you not knowing or understanding, and then go ask people that do. Because again, I could ask any of you guys about your kit and you would absolutely talk my ear off, telling me every single spec detail down to the D10 of your favorite rifle. We can do that again, right? We can be that helpful community, and we need to be, because there are lots more people coming into this every day, and let's be realistic, some of us can be flat toxic, not even trying to be. So guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Till next time, I'll see you later.